Hi everybody, this is Mrs. Martin and welcome to Disney's America Project. This project was designed to help you review the topics that you covered in social studies this year. And it also gives you an opportunity to be creative, to work alone or with a friend, and to really explore a kind of amazing career path, that of a Walt Disney World Imagineer. So let's take a look in Google Classroom at something that you'll be working with over the next week and a half. Over the next week and a half, you will be invited to become a Disney Imagineer. You can work alone or with a partner in order to complete this challenge of creating your own attraction or ride to add to Disney's America theme park. Please keep in mind that this is what we'll be working on each day in both English and social studies. So it will be important to communicate with your partner clearly, particularly if he or she is not with you in both classes. Folks, just a side note, if you want to work with a friend, that's terrific. If you want to work alone, you can. It's certainly going to be an interesting challenge either way. I would just ask that you work with someone who is at least with you in social studies or English class. Don't pick someone who you don't share any classes with at all, because at that point you're not really working together. As you work, if you have questions for either Ms. Velasca, Mrs. Martin, or our Disney expert, Mr. Martin, who presented yesterday, please contact us over email if you're not in the classroom with us. So we want to be able to be a resource for you. If you're in the social studies classroom and you have a question for me, please email me. I'm happy to answer you. If you are in the English classroom and you have a history-based question for Ms. Velasca, please email her. She's happy to respond. And of course, if you want to ask a question of Mr. Martin, who did our presentation on the history of Disney's America yesterday, by all means, absolutely email me and I will send your question along to him. You've got 2 attachments on this assignment, and you'll find this assignment in both your social studies and your English classrooms. So let's take a look at the second attachment, which is our list of history topics. This list was designed by Ms. Velasca to remind you generally of what we covered this year in social studies class. So let's take a look. There's early civilizations, Native American tribes, age of exploration, colonial America, the War of Independence, the new nation and new government, presidents, westward expansion, the Industrial Revolution, the slave trade and slavery, women's rights, and the Civil War. Now notice this is a very general list. It's there simply to remind you of what was covered. There are definitely people and events that you went into in more depth and detail during class this year. So if there's something that stands out in your memory or in your mind as something you would like to use, then I would say go for it. It just has to be something that fits into what you have learned this year. Our other attachment is our Disney America packet. And that's going to walk you through each day of what this project looks like. So let's open that up. The Walt Disney America Project packet starts off with a map that is a rough idea of what the park was supposed to look like. And as Mr. Martin went over when he presented this park to you, there are different regions that are supposed to reflect different time periods. So please notice things like Victory Field or State Fair. They aren't something that you've learned about yet in social studies class. So those aren't time periods or areas that you would want to explore. Instead, take a look at things like the Native America section, President's Square, the Civil War Fort. Those are areas that you've looked at this year in social studies and where your expertise might come in handy. So if you notice on this page, there is a checklist, and that checklist is going to walk you through what you need to get accomplished. It tells you, first, with your partner, select your favorite event from social studies this year. Consider the list of topics. Think about interesting historical people as well as events. And then you're going to create a ride or attraction that would reflect this historical event or person. What will the ride mechanism look like? What will the whole ride look like? What about the ride will educate and excite your guests? Decide how you will market your ride or attraction. What will the advertising look like? What will you sell in the gift shop? And what food will you sell in the area to tie into your ride or attraction? So notice this is a lot to consider. Luckily, you're going to have plenty of time to do it. What we've got here is your schedule. And we've already done the presentation with Mr. Martin. So you already know about the Disney America theme park. So today, you're going to start off with brainstorming, and we do have sheets that will walk you through that process. But your overall goal today is to work with your partner to select a historical event or person and research information about that event or person. This is not a situation where you want to try to go from memory, because if you don't remember exactly the date or the time period or somebody's name, you have an iPad, you absolutely should look it up, okay? So let's take a look at your brainstorming section. It tells you, remember, your goal is to both celebrate a historical event and educate the people who will experience this attraction or ride. So below, you are going to select 3 historical people or events you would like to honor and teach others about through your own theme park attraction at our version of Disney's America. So to start off, I want you to pick 3. Ms. Velasco wants you to pick 3 because we want you to fill out the sheet. And then with fresh eyes tomorrow, we want you to go back and pick the one you feel is the strongest. So start with 3, and then we'll do a narrowing down process tomorrow. So if you notice, you've got room for 3 options. And for each option, you're being asked the name of the person or the event, the historical time period to which this person belongs, so you need specific dates. The historical significance, why is this person or event important? And 3 facts about this person or event that will be incorporated into the ride or attraction, okay? So again, today is just about brainstorming. Talk to each other, look at the list, decide what you found to be interesting and exciting, and make that a focus for yourselves. Nobody's telling you to plan the ride today. That's something that we'll work on over the next few days. But today is just about getting your ideas going, okay? So with that in mind, Ms. Velasco will be back with you tomorrow, and I'll be here every day. So if you have questions, please feel free to email us. And, most important, please have fun.